This is an Empty Closet Radio podcast. Get more at facebook.com/emptyclosetradio.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sam.
And this is The Empty Closet.
The show for everyone, whether you're in the closet
Or out and proud.
or somewhere in between.
And now, sex toys. Sam, you've got this, amazing little box. It's actually very, so we're looking at this, it's like a gift box, and it's imprinted with the logo on the top, and it looks very good quality. Sam, you mentioned that you bought this from online, and there's something in there that doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. Please explain.
So, this is... Are you sure you've never seen something like this before, Andrew? Are you sure?
Yeah. Let me just describe it for everyone playing along at home. It's it's bulbous at one end, and then there's a little bit that comes down, and it's made of metal. And then it has what appears to be a bottle opener shaped circle at one end. I am sure it's not a bottle opener.
Andrew, if you can't intuitively recognise every variety of butt plug that you see, I'm very concerned for the state of your prep and the state of your sex life.
Well, I don't have a metal one.
Why not?
Particularly not one with a bottle opener on the end.
It's not a bottle opener. Although, wouldn't that be the most Australian sex toy ever? We've already got thongs and things that have it. I mean, footwear, not underwear. Why not have sex toys with bottle openers attached?
It's true. I'm sure it's actually happened. You know what? There's probably a huge market for that.
It's a terrible, terrible idea, considering, you probably should never mix alcohol and sex to that degree.
Right. But you've gotten, so you bought this from online, and we were just about to talk about online shopping for these things, because I've been looking at a few different sex toys from the various online stores as well, and I can't figure out, it's hard to tell from the way that they're advertised. You can tell what they do, obviously, but you can't tell whether it's the right shape and feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that look, the benefit to shopping in person is that you can, if something can be out of a box, or you can look in the box, you can see size, you can get a feel for weight, things like that. But I don't know what in-person sex shop you'd be visiting that you could apply these toys in the way that they're meant to be used to see if they work for you. So I think that shopping for sex toys is always a little bit of a gamble.
It is a little bit of a gamble. Sometimes you can touch them and feel what the surface feels like.
Yeah, and you can, if you become a bit of a connoisseur of adult novelty products, I don't know, you can kind of get a feel for, sorry, for if something says this is the material it's made of, you go, I know what that's like because I've touched things like that before.
Oh, yeah, totally. There'd definitely be that happening. So your particular one that you've just shown me is made of metal. Why is it metal? Because most of the ones that I've seen, most of the ones in my collection, are silicone, because I thought that silicone was the way to go.
Silicone is body safe, but so is stainless steel, because stainless steel is used in surgeries, it's used in piercings. Stainless steel has a weight to it that silicone doesn't have, and stainless steel is less likely to be damaged. You have to work to damage it.
But it also has a certain rigidity that just isn't there for the silicone ones.
Yes, so sometimes people like rigid things. I thought you would appreciate that, Andrew.
Yeah, but you don't want to do damage. You can't. No, this is a serious concern, Sam, and you're just laughing at me.
I think it's all in how you use them, dear.
Well, I'm sure that you could cause damage with... Or could you cause damage with the silicone one?
Of course you could.
I don't know. Oh, anyway, so you bought this one online. You haven't used it yet, obviously, because it's still in the box. Hopefully you haven't used it because I've just been looking at it.
Empty Closet Radio. Listen to us using your TuneIn radio app on your smartphone. Very smart.
I've seen other things like this online, Sam. I've seen other sex toy, I think particularly butt plugs, that have on the end, like the end that's outside to the world, there's a little diamante, I think.
Yeah, so for those of you who perhaps are not familiar with putting things in your back passage, the flare is very important. Do not put things in your bottom that do not have a flared base, because your ability to reach inside and get them back out is severely inhibited, and that will result in a very embarrassing trip to the emergency room. Pro tip.
Yeah. Don't ever, like, let anything disappear without a way of getting it back out.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you will end up going to hospital and you will end up being one of those people who have their x-rays on Tumblr because other people laugh at them, basically. Anyway, so these little diamante things, I feel like they're just not like the little ledge on them, the little bit that stops it from going in all the way. I just feel like it's not big enough. I feel like it's dangerous. It could just go and it would all be over, Red Rover.
I kind of feel like that sound effect should feature at some point in our show in the future. So listen out for that sound bite.
What, just randomly? It's even worse. So professional, Sam. But there are other things that you can buy online, which are things like all that like BDSM stuff. And I often look at it and I go, I can't even figure out how you'd use this. Like, where does that bit attach to? Where does that bit attach to? What would you even do? What are there like some resources to be able to figure this out?
There are, and at some point we should actually talk about this. Not in today's episode. We should get people on board who know what to talk about. But there are lots of online resources. Do not follow 50 Shades of Grey, for the love of God.
Why? What's wrong with 50 Shades of Grey, Sam?
We could be here all night listing the things that are wrong.
But he's got lots of toys and he's got a red room and a special thing for it.
Yes, and he doesn't believe in ongoing consent and boundaries and education and...
Okay, the biggest thing that you just mentioned is that ongoing consent thing. Let's quickly talk about that. So ongoing consent is like, hey, I would like to have sex with you. Hey, sure, that sounds like a great idea. And then like, maybe you're like, you get started and then you're like, not feeling it anymore. No thanks.
But also things like, hey, I've agreed to do this. I've agreed to, have oral sex. I'm so into that. And then somebody's pushing you for penetration. Or maybe you're the owner of a vagina and you're having sex with the owner of a penis and, you're doing your thing and he's like, I'm going to go the back door. And you say no. And he goes, but you've already said that we're having sex. That's an issue of ongoing consent.
Well, but I think that's very real, even for like gay guys, because sometimes, before you know it, you just, you get all hot and heavy and then suddenly someone wants to go somewhere where you're like, oh, hang on, no, I'm not ready for that. And it is really hard to say no. Like, it's really hard to get someone to listen when you say no as well.
And this is something that, healthy BDSM relationships do very well because the idea of boundaries is very, very important in healthy BDSM arenas. So there are things like the traffic light system. Have you heard of the traffic light system?
I assume it's like green is single, yellow is not really single, and red is not. No, Sam, you're looking at me completely the wrong way.
That's traffic light parties.
Oh, I'm getting confused.
No, so the concept of a safe word is something a lot of people have heard of. So it's something that is used during play or sex to say, no, we need to stop. This is not good.
And using no and stop as safe words is a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea. But the traffic light system is something where maybe you're a bit unsure about what's going on. So you say yellow and it means slow down. We need to reassess. If somebody's checking in with you because they're like, they've gone really quiet. Maybe this is not a good thing. And you go, what color are you at? And they might say green, or they might say yellow and you need to back off. Or if it's something that's a really hard boundary, red. So it says, I'm absolutely 100% into this. I need to reassess, or we need to stop now.
Right. So that's green, yellow, red.
Yeah. So this is a way of checking those boundaries as you keep going.
Empty Closet Radio. Like us on Facebook.
What about when you have like a new, like, you know, maybe a new toy that you want to try with your partner? Because, you know, that might be fun. How do you go about that? Or what if there's like multiple partners involved? What are the precautions that need to be taken, Sam? And if you tell me to put condoms on dildos, oh my God, that's what you're going to tell me.
It's actually not a stupid suggestion. It is very much something that you should do if it's a toy that you don't know, if it's been cleaned and so forth. But really, you know, all toys should be. If you're using sex toys, you should be able to have sex toys that can be cleaned. So that's either with soap and water, that could be with specialized cleaner, or it could just be, in the case of things that are metal, you can actually put them in boiling water and sterilize them.
I heard people put them in the dishwasher.
Yeah, most dildos and things are now dishwasher safe, which is hooray for modern economies.
That's a lot of convenience there, right there. I do feel like, though, because I have like Airbnb guests that stay in my spare room, if they opened the dishwasher and found like a little family of dildos just sitting there, I might have some explaining to do.
I think you would too, but a dishwasher does sanitize your dishes, so it makes sense that it would also sanitize sex toys.
But a dishwasher is not an autoclave. So if you are talking about like really extreme sex toys, we're talking like things like sounding. This is not the advice that we're giving you. Do not put that stuff in the dishwasher. Go and get it like properly cleaned. Some of those like body piercing places and stuff can clean that for you.
Yeah, you need to. You have the same, not the same, but you have risks of infection from sex toys in the same way you have risks of infection from new partners. So you have to practice safe sex with your sex toys. So if that means cleaning them regularly, it means that if you've got a partner that, you know, if you've got, I don't know, a strap-on that you love using with your partner, and you start a new relationship, you need to either clean your gear properly or use barrier methods until you've cleaned it properly, so that you're not basically having unprotected sex.
Right. Yeah, because some of these things that can be transmitted, they can actually, well, you can't see them for one, and they can stay on objects for a really long time. Like, when we went to go to Sexual Health to talk to the guys about hepatitis can stick around, this is what I found out, for like 14 days, just sitting around on whatever object it's on. So that's a long time, and that means that all of your fun toys suddenly turn into like carrier pigeons.
Yeah, pretty much. So don't let your fun toys become carrier pigeons.
Yes, I think we should turn that into a hashtag.
We should turn that into a bumper sticker.
Let's not.
No, that's a bad idea. But no, in all seriousness, it is, yes, Andrew, something that you should possibly put condoms on.
What about if you're buying them from the internet? Are they like clean enough?
Well, you're not usually buying them secondhand.
No, I mean like when you buy them brand new, but you know, when you buy things from the internet, they come from like dodgy source companies usually.
See, I've only ever used, when I've been buying intimate equipment, I guess, from the internet, I've only used specific sites that I'm reasonably familiar with, that have excellent return policies and, you know, good customer service and so on, that I'm confident that what I'm getting is what's being advertised. So, say that there's, I don't know, a leading manufacturer of sex toys. There's lots of brands. And if they're affiliated with a website, you know that whatever product you get through that website is going to be supported if it isn't what it's meant to be or it isn't what it's advertised as. So, that gives you some protection.
So what I'm hearing you say is when I search on one of those like online auction websites and sort the list by like cheapest first.
Yeah, you should maybe be using those condoms on your sex toys from the get-go.
So many risks. I actually haven't bought any sex toys from online. Can I just put that out there?
I have to admit, the main reason that I have, because this is the first time that I've bought any sex toys online, is because there's a sex education website that also reviews sex toys that I love, because it's fantastic for people with all kinds of bodies. But they're affiliated with certain other websites and you get a discount. And I was like, these people support things I like, and this is going to cost me less than if I buy it somewhere else, so I'm going to buy it there.
Ah, that's awesome. So, you're saying I should not buy mine from my dodgy online websites, though?
Probably not.
Probably not. Think twice.
Think more than twice.
3 or 4 times.
At least.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to The Empty Closet, brought to you by 1019 Coast FM Cairns.